Does your mom ever call you when you're working? No. We schedule calls. We schedule our calls. So my mom will be like, hey, can we have a chat this weekend? And I say, sure. And then what happens a lot of the time, because my weekend schedule is, because of the fact that we have a toddler, I wouldn't say like it is irregular. It's not weird, but it's irregular. It can change at the drop of a hat. You know, sometimes it's like I can't talk for like 6 hours because we like go out and get groceries and eat lunch, and then like she has to take her nap, and then we come back from the nap. It's like bath time, blah, blah, blah. So it'll be like 9:15 a.m. and I'll be like, can you talk right now? And then my mom is in a different time zone. She's 3 hours ahead. And she'll be like, can we talk 15 minutes from now? Me and your father are out having lunch right now. And I say, no, that's going to be a problem. I'll get back to you tomorrow. And then usually the next day we're able to make it work. Why is she in a different time zone? Question mark. Because she lives somewhere else? She lives in a different place? Canada's large? I mean, lots of countries have like multiple time zones. There's a 3-hour time difference in Canada. Brother, there's like a 4.5-hour time difference in the Canadian time zones. 4.5 sounds right to me. What's half a time zone? You're a smart person. I'm sure you could figure it out. You can divide an hour in two. I know it seems impossible because an hour is one of something, and you know, nobody here is really good with decimals or fractions, but I promise you can do it. If Alaska became a Canadian province, where would it rank amongst the current ones? It would be Canada's most overpowered territory, in my opinion, which means it would still, no disrespect to Alaska, as you know, I'm a big fan of Ketchikan, Alaska. It would probably lose to almost every province except New Brunswick. Maybe, I don't know, we don't need to get nasty, you know? I thought you said it'd be overpowered? Yeah, overpowered relative to the territories. I mean, we're talking about the territories here. We're not even talking about the provinces. What does that mean? Well, like in Canada, there's provinces and then there's territories, if you catch my drift. They're not the same thing. Yeah, exactly. Nobody really knows like the difference. But I mean, if you were like, Yukon is my favorite province, I would be like, oh really? Are you from like the future or something? Yeah, provinces are relatively warm and territories are relatively cold. That's the only delineation as far as I know. Would you move to Nunavut for 30 years for $30 million? It's interesting. I think the answer is yes. But it is the sort of thing you have to think about. I know it seems like, why would you have to think about it? Well, like the question really is, like, what's the point of having $30 million in Nunavut? Like, you could probably have like a really nice house, but it's like in Nunavut. Could you vacation? I think you could do whatever you want after your 30 years are up, but for 30 years, I think for this to be accurate, for this to be a good faith argument, you need to stay in Nunavut. You can't go. $30 million is enough for month-long vacations. First off, no, it isn't. It's enough for like forever long vacations. But then secondarily, but of course it's enough for month-long vacations. People go backpacking in Europe with like, $1,500 in their savings account. But I don't think you can be like, sure, I'll move to Nunavut for 30 years. Wink, wink. By the way, like we spend 6 months in Florida. Like you're cheating in that case. You gotta wait. You gotta run it out for 30 years. I'm not even saying Nunavut is like a bad place to live necessarily. I'm just saying like the amount of money that you're getting to live in Nunavut is hard to apply to raising your quality of life in Nunavut, I think. A year for $1 million? For sure. 5 years for $5 million? I would say no doubt about it. 30 years for $30 million? I mean, that's like, you never know how long you got on this planet, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad or anything. Is it paid out only at the end? No, because then obviously you wouldn't take it. Because then, like for 30 years in Nunavut, you'd just be living in Nunavut with like your normal amount of money, which is probably not 30 million, unless you're Mad Dog Nation. The one guy from here, from Nunavut, is furious. I'm sure he's not. I'm sure that the one guy watching the stream from Nunavut is probably like, yeah, we don't want you here anyway. It's already too crowded. I see 2 motherfuckers every time I go to the grocery store. It makes me sick. You should at least be able to take a 1-month-long vacation every year. No, because then it's like you think you found a way to hack the system, but you're just breaking the spirit of the question. It's like saying, if you could make $10 million a year by just drinking exclusively only piss, would you do it? And you're like, yeah, but like once a day I'll have a glass of water. It's like, no, motherfucker, it's piss all day, every day. Nobody's gonna do this shit for you anyway, so why are you getting so, oh, it would kill my kidneys would get so damaged. Nobody's coming down and giving you the offer anyway, so don't get mired in the muck of the semantics, okay? We're asking questions that tick, Peter, what's the name of that? Peter Molyneux's curiosity. We're getting down into the curiosity cube that is your brain to find out what your values are, okay? It's not like an escape room where it's like, I'm going to invest my money. I'm going to put all of my money in cash in a bank in the Cayman Islands. So in order to get my money, I have to fly to the Cayman Islands. It's not a vacation. We're just trying to figure out what you value in life. I mean, I think that, first off, $30 million to live in Nunavut for 30 years is a great deal if you value the sort of things that you would get from a life in Nunavut and that kind of money simultaneously. Like, if you're in a position where, like, it's important for you to provide, like, generational wealth to your family, then maybe you're like, I'm going to eat it for 30 years. Or maybe you're like, I've just always romanticized the tundra. In which case, more power to you. This is a great offer for you, okay? But for like a normal person who enjoys eating food that tastes good and having things to do around them and being able to go outside in like a hoodie instead of like full winter gear, and then like also the sun, value things like possibly the sun going down in the summer and the sun coming up in the winter time, like, I'm so caught up in you, little girl, that I never did suspect a thing. I'm sorry, it's easy to see. Wait, who's that? Is that 38 Special? I didn't write the song, Chad. Don't get on my ass. This shit came out when I was like negative 20 years old. That is 38 Special, the original supergroup. I was there when they were formed. It is a great song. One of the all-time great songs in the worst rock band. No, not Beatles. Rock Band 4. Why is the thumbnail picture for Nunavut just a cloud? Well, like, listen, I'm not, like, I don't have a fucking bone to pick with Nunavut, okay? But you asked. And I think the answer might be, like, yes, it is that boring. Like, and boy, I don't know, boring might not be the word you want to use. I mean, it's nature. Please tell me Codenames is in 12 minutes. Guy whose time is very valuable, but he's been watching 2 hours and 48 minutes of Super Auto Pets nonetheless against his will under duress.